This is Tempest. This is also Tempest. Which Tempest is the real Tempest? Well, I can tell you that this one's a real piece of shit. So this is a spare board that I have laying around. This is not the one that came in my Tempest machine. I bought this one a while back. Because it didn't work, I was going to make it a project to try and fix it and then stick it in my Space Duel cabinet and see if I can make it run in there. But then I got real Tempest, so now I'm just going to fix the board and then see if I can have a spare Tempest board for when one explodes. And yeah, this is Tempest, alright. We got, oh, that's weird, that's been replaced with a weird DAC chip thing. Yeah, it's Tempest. It's got the math box. It does all the math, and it does the pokey stuff. It's got a new old stock pokey in there, so I had some work done to it before. You have some of these proms have been socketed, or maybe that's how they were originally. I don't know. So this thing has problems, and this is not going to be as easy as my millipede or centipede videos, mainly because vector games require a couple more voltages that I can't really get just on my bench, so I'm not going to be able to like plug it in and hook it to my scope. I'm going to have to be sticking it out of the back of the cabinet here, and that's going to be a real pain in the ass, pain in my physical actual ass from having to sit on the concrete. And then there's not a lot of similar signals to raster games like, you know, your 124H, you know, 16V, 32V, all the sync signals for the raster monitor. This thing does its own thing because it's a vector monitor, and it lives on its own time. It doesn't give a shit. And also it has the vector generator and its big old circle jerk. Yeah, that's fun. You know, I was about to get this thing ready to hook up and see what it does, but then I realized there's something missing right here, and I think I know what happened to it. That's the Y linearity pot that I stole, so I could shove it in the back of the input card of Galaxian's monitor for the sub brightness or whatever. So that's just not. That's not going to work. I've rectified my mistake, and that mistake was stealing this potentiometer and putting it on something else. No, alright. So I got the pot in there. I'm too tired to be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. Got the probes hooked up to my scope, and it's scoping out the probes for the vectors. We're going to draw some lines, turn on the power. This thing's in test mode. What's it do? Well, I think it's trying to do a test code or a code or beep code or something. It's not going to show up here because I got disconnected for a very good reason. Hello. Hello, scope. Where is it at? Show me the goods. Did you stop bouncing? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stupid pot. Is that like X centering? Where's the center? Holy fuck, that's a dirty pot. This is why you don't hook up boards without changing the pots or deoxying the shit, and at least if you've seen my last video. So this thing's mad. This thing's very mad. We have an M for math box. We have A and JE, I think. Let's enhance. A and MP. So I'm pretty sure those are RAM errors. This thing only has two 114s. You know, it's showing signs of life. I commend it for that. It's got a math box error. If I were to stick the other math box onto this for my good board, it would not boot because it has RAM errors. I need to figure out which RAM that is. Also, every time I put it into test mode for some reason, well, probably because it has bad RAM, it flips the screen sometimes to whatever direction it wants to be. If I go over here and hit the slam switch, I get different screens. This is the BIP screen, and if you've seen my last video, you know that scaling window is probably not supposed to be there. And we're missing half of our sounds. I don't know if that's just part of RAM being bad. I think this is the vector generator testerator. Sure doesn't seem to be doing anything. So at least it looks like I don't have to play with vector generator on this thing. I mean, it kind of sounds cool. I didn't change shit. Get a little wiggle. So, yeah, you can sit there and cook for a minute. I'm gonna see what those errors are. Alright, so RAM should be error tones, ROM should be displayed here, so I might have some bad ROMs, but it could just be sockets because it's Tempest, and that's how that shit is. And that might be what it's trying to do, is piss at me about bad RAM. Alright, so what do we got for ROM problems? I don't wanna. Enhance. We got A and S. Maybe the S is a 5, so P1, H1. Alright, I reflowed your dumb cable connection and I reseated your ROMs. What are you gonna do for me? Probably yell at me some more. It's yelling at me some more. It's just not happy. I wonder what it'd do if I took the math box off. I think it would complain about the same shit. Yay. Well, the ROMs went away. It's not mad about ROMs. Doesn't appear to be mad about RAM. You know, stop. I'm fucking pissed about the math box. Are the Pokies alright? Let's put the other math box on there and see if it explodes. Alright, what happens if I reseed everything on the math box? Auxiliary board's gonna be beep wah eep wah eep wah boop beep boop beep wah 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 boop beep boop beep. In the manual it says that M stands for math box, but I think it stands for mad. What the fuck? I mean, I'm glad, but that's not supposed to be what's fucking right there. As much as I don't like busting into my working game, you know, sometimes you just gotta, no. Some people find pulling stickers off shit satisfying. That just sucks. Okay. So I got the math box off my good game onto my bad game. So we're gonna see if it continues to eep, oop, eep. Do I have it plugged in? Right, am I plugged in? I'm sure not hearing any fucking eeps and oops. What the fuck is with that? Why? That's not right. This is a different like revision of wrongs. That's what the game looks like. Hi. That sure just is just a math box. Boo-hoo. Damn. Is that all? Well, how do I do it? How do I do it? Let's see what the other touch screens look like. That's weird. So, how do we troubleshoot MathBox? Alright, so the MathBox troubleshooting guide requires the cat box, which I don't have. It's the thing that connects to the board and talks to it and forces it to do certain things, which you can probe with a scope and see if it's functioning correctly. I don't have that. So, I'm not sure how these bit slicers work. But one thing I do know is that the pokies are going fucking berserk when it goes into test mode and starts making all sorts of racket. So we're gonna swap the pokies around onto my my good board and see if they do the same thing, if these pokies are actually just bad. If not, if the pokies are good, then there's something that talks to the pokies that's going berserk. So these two chips right here, those are the Atari pokies. This one's a shiny new old stock guy. I think that one might work. No. I mean, they have the pretty shitty failure rate to AMI. Wait, isn't this the same chip company that does the AstroKid customs? You're scary. I don't like you. I didn't really want to pull those out of there. They're all nice and snug, and they have never been pulled out before, and they didn't want to leave. They were very comfortable in their old home. However, one thing I did notice. Holy shit. Serial number 305, 305th math box. Aren't you special? So I bought this board not working, so I can't really expect these pokies to work. However, somebody suspected the sockets, so somebody had tried to make these work at some point. But, you know, he's got left a bunch of gooey shit on these things, and you know what? All this like green corrosion came off when I wiped it off with toilet paper, so I'm kind of afraid of giving my good board some fucking Tempest STD AIDS. Alright, the shitty pokies. Shitty poker. You could use like centipede to test these. Yell at me. Stop yelling at me. Ooh. It's running. Yeah, fucking stop. Well, I forgot to put it in test mode. So it's definitely something more fundamental. If it, I guess the pokies would throw a separate error too. Okay. I didn't get screwed with two bad pokies this time. I'm happy. This is good news. So, the pokies are good. That just means that something else that tells the pokies what to do is sending them garbage. I don't think it has anything to do with the bit slicers. So, it's going to be something that addresses. Hopefully it's not a prom. I don't know if the proms have anything to do with the pokies or sound generation or anything like that. I think those are mostly for math purposes. Don't have anything to do with this. This guy's the save brains. We can check. We got a couple clock or something around here. There's There's a few things we can poke around on in here. We got some test points. Okay, so let's try moving the bit slicers on there. That'll tell us if it's a big shit. Actually, no. Prom still. Everything's socketed. I'll just move right over. Well, I didn't do the proms. I just did the bit slicers. So we're gonna see if it blows up and spews chunks and yells and screams and dies and cries. It's not complaining. Those fucking pops, dude. Is that Y center? Stop that. That's because the bit slicers are functional. It's doing its math. The graphics look pretty alrighty. Yep. That's a Tempest. So up next is proms. I'm not happy about that. Hope the proms are right, because those are harder to replace than any other, basic regular logic, like anything else on this board. So any of this other shit, that's all easy peasy. These are very specific. You need a specific kind of thing. They have to be very fast. I was moving the proms over. I was going to try it out. I was going to test some things out. I was going to see it working and whatnot. And then, yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be. I don't know about that. It's kind of a problem. It's a problem. Maybe we can solder back on or something. I don't know. I wonder why it wasn't working, huh? It's almost like it's not making connections certain places. Well, sure is pretty gross. Guess it's time to attempt to save it. Maybe if I use a little brass wheel here and tip over my shit and... There's a good chance that was the problem to begin with. I put some new legs on it, courtesy of Mr. AMD 9016 EPC, which I'm pretty sure is one of the CMOS chips I replaced on the Centipede for the bad input on the Opto blah 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 trackball. So I stole some legs off there, tacked them onto that. Hopefully it survives being inserted into the board, which is... Oh. I was about to get worried. Where did I put my board? I'm like misplacing things that are right in front of me. Wouldn't it be something if it was just that the entire time? Some dude sold me his PCB because his shitty legs on the chip that was covered in fuck. Shit. Alright, now I got it kind of shoved in there. Also looking at the socket, this, look at that. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of hard to make it. Look at the gap between, look at how fucked that thing is. These sockets are shit. Hopefully it switches to the correct audio and not my headphones. Well, I got all the blah, 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 blah. I'm going to turn it on. It's going to yell at me. Don't yell at me. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of it yelling. Huh? All proms good. No math box errors. Dude, look at it just shoved on in the circle. I saw that. Dude. Ooh, don't you move. Yeah? You know, if that's all it was, I'm going to put all this shit back in the original board. I'm going to replace the prom sockets. And then I put it back in the board. If that's all that was, then I didn't do too bad on that board. I think I only paid like 150 or 170 bucks for a bad Tempest board set. 2 good pokies, good CPU, good ROMs. Good everything except shitted up sockets that were covered in deoxit with like weird green goo and very, very poor sockets. And if that's it, I'm fucking made out like a robber. Wow, look at all those sockets that have been taken off. They've been taken off. They're right here. They're all shit and they're gooey and they've been covered in stuff. And this board's all gooey and covered in stuff. I'm gonna clean up those contact pads with some wick, and I'm gonna like douse it in alcohol and clean it. I didn't actually use my soldering gun or desoldering gun. I felt like using something a little bit different today. Got myself a little thumb workout. This thing is pretty fucking sweet. Even for like an old-fashioned unga bunga tool, it does a really good job. Mostly because this silicone tip, instead of the Teflon tip, it forms to the what you're working on, so it gets a better seal. It sucks real good. Alright, these still have the original sockets in them. I don't feel like doing that right now. I just got the proms there, and then I might reflow the little connected legs there just to make sure that they're gonna work. And then I'm gonna throw this on the game and see if it complains. Well, make sure it's on test mode so we can see if it complains about MathBox. Turn my headlamp off, turn the power on. And it's gonna yell at me. Watch this. Yeah, well. So it's not just that. Well, MathBox error went away. Probably because the PROM works. Well, that's pretty fucking cool. Well, this game has a separate circuit for turning off the sound during the track, apparently. So it's letting some junk go through to the pokies. That is interesting. So that's probably not going to be the most difficult thing to troubleshoot, actually. At least I hope. That's kind of cool, actually. I can sort of hear the sound effects in there. Huh. So a little bit of time has passed, and I did some organizing. And we're not talking to you. You get out of here. No, that's more like it. This is what we're talking about today. This is the thing we're talking about today. We're going to talk about this eventually. This is pole position. And if you know anything about arcade stuff, you know pole position is a piece of shit. But the piece of shit we're going to work on today is Tempest. And we're going to try and figure out what the hell the noise is all about. All that nonsensical jibber jabber we were exposed to earlier. So, it's probably going to have something to do with this. I'm going to have to poke around on the pokies, I guess, and well, I have to trace back what the absolute hell is going on here. I mean, we did fix this guy here. This guy is still happy-ish with this new socket and new legs. Yeah. I was inadvertently recommended to check capacitors for this sound, even though I was only trying to show off the the nonsense. I wanted to make a thread on Clav about game malfunctions. Show me your most interesting game malfunctions, and then somebody recommended that I look at something specific, which I didn't particularly ask for, but I guess I'll do it anyway now that I know it. It has tainted my my troubleshooting experience here, so I guess we're going to do that first. Man, I wish I had another set of these. These are a lot handier for grabbing video signals than this thing is. This just kind of, you know, slips off, these alligator clips. Alright, let's see if this thing's still home. It's been a while since I turned it on. You got the monitor disconnected. So yeah, this thing's still making its Atari noises. Someone's got to be giving garbage data to the Pokies. I don't know if a capacitor would do that. Unless, like, the Pokies are being undervolted from leaky capacitors or something like that. I know it's got the EA ROM, so I need that higher voltage for this thing to function correctly, but I'm not seeing the regulator for it up here, but I'm seeing the capacitors for filtering 22 volts. Are there diodes for rectifying that? So I don't think it just uses AC. And then that's probably also used for op-amp related to Pokies. But this isn't op-amp garbage noise that I'm hearing, otherwise that'd be just like some other kind of shit. This is actual noise that the Pokies can make or generate, so there's something else going on here. Oh, just for reference, here's the giant circle jerk that I was talking about. Look at that thing. That's just a big fat circle jerk. It just goes in circles, and then yeah, I'm glad I don't have to mess with any of this. So just investigating the voltages going into the auxiliary board. Here we have the 36 volts AC on the vector power brick for various vector related nonsense. It goes into a rectifier and comes out of the rectifier as negative 22 volts DC. I don't know how they're doing that, because if you rectify 36 volts, you'd probably get a, I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Oh, no. I'm being dumb. I know what's going on here. There would be a common in between the 236 volts, and yeah, okay. So you got positive, like, what would it be? 16, positive 16, negative 16, but then you rectify it, turn out to be 22 volts. All right, I know what's going on. I'm gotta stop myself before I get crazy here. So that is negative 22 volts DC is just rectified straight off the transformer from 36 volts AC. AC kind of confuses my brain. I gotta think about it for a minute there. Here's an unused 15 positive and negative 15 volts DC. That's probably originally for the vector stuff. I'm not sure why they didn't use the regulators on the board here. Maybe they just wanted a cleaner voltage for the vector generation, the analog output. So they put those regulators on the PCB for the game itself. So we need to double check, make sure 22 volts and maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is that negative 5 volts is coming off of 22 volts, negative 22 volts DC here. And you got this big resistor that dropped the voltage. And then a 7905. So this 7905 is probably dropping a good chunk of voltage. Actually, no. This resistor is dropping most of the voltage probably. And then, you know, the load causes it to blah, 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 blah. Okay. Ignore what I'm saying. Alright, so looking at the section for player inputs and audio outputs, audio output, which is handled by the Pokey chips. Here we have this big black line. This goes back here, blah, 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 blah. Back over to external bus from sheet 2, side A. And what that is that's that big wire connector going between the two boards. So this is the external data bus, or address bus. Address bus. External data bus. Alright, so external address bus should not be messed up, because if it was, it goes all into the math box and stuff, and if there's a bad wire or something going to that, then you would have some major problems. You would not have the game would not be running. Data bus, you would not have the game running if there's a problem with that. If there's like a shorted line or an open line or a line that's not working, the game would just not work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the outputs of the Pokies and see if they're as noisy as it sounds. Here's the op amp for the sound, for amplifying it to get it to the point where the AR2 will take it. I'm just going to poke this right here, and I'm going to poke this right here. So what it looks like is that's putting a 5-volt bias on it. So we need to make it so you can at least see it. What are we doing? What am I doing? Let's see here. We're just doing some hearing range frequency stuff. And put it on 1x. I don't know why I would do that, but I'm gonna do 1000x probe. Probably wouldn't be listening to that kind of signal on one of these cheapos. Nanoseconds. I'm not sure how that calculates into frequencies. Maybe if I was smarter. Let's do 4 milliseconds. That's pretty quick. Oh yeah. What is that? What's going through my arm? 60 hertz hum from ground to me. But it's off. It's floating. Why is it 60 hertz hum? What are we getting that hum from? This just in. I'm powered by AC 60 hertz something. I'm stupid. Alright. Dead bugs on my scope. So it really shouldn't be making anything right now. What in the fuck? What am I looking at? Oh, there you are. You're not populated. Thank you. Okay, let's see if we get from audio positive. Sure do. So that means we're getting it. Right. Getting it here. We're getting it here. You check pin 37 on both Pokies. You might get some feedback from the other ones with these resistors here. So I might have to pull that one pin on a Pokey just to try and isolate it between which Pokey, because it might be one Pokey that's malfunctioning due to a socket or something. 39, 38, 37. That is coming from this one. This one's giving us garbage. This one is quiet. Let's check other signals going to this Pokey. I did get my nice knee pad out because you don't want to ruin your knees. You know, this is feeling an awful lot like just bad sockets, general. Is that just really all that's wrong with this thing? Because I changed these sockets down here, but I did not change these because they're big and they take a lot of time. I bet you this socket's bad. So I got the pin out, pokey pin out, pulled up. Let's see here, VSS, that's probably 5 volts. Or it's ground. This is VDDDDDD, it's one of the VCC. So 4 pins up, it's gonna be 5 volts. Or not. Hello? Oh, I'm an idiot. Again, I need to have DC coupling because there's no AC on that line. Oh, no. That's why it's getting kind of bumpy. Well, there's our 5 volts. This would be 4.8 volts, so maybe it's a little bit undervolted. They're both 4.8. Is my voltage off on this thing? We got 4.8. Okay, 4.8, huh? Is the connector on this one just that bad? Let's see what the power supply is cranking out. Sense... Fuck. Where we got? Sense positive. Come on. 496, so there's a little bit of voltage drop. It could be a low voltage issue. Well, let's poke around some data pins. Let's go data 3. That looks like it's kind of floating around. I don't know what's up with that. P. What are the P pins? Peripheral. Input data. Blah, 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 blah. Let me check. Get the schematic. See what the fuck is going on. Really, it's just bad. You know what? I'm just gonna get rid of it. This sucks. I got that socket replaced, but I'm not really down with this goo. Let's see if isopropyl will take this shit off. Maybe this weird sticker crap to the foam. So dissolve that a little bit. Clean up, turn and stuff, but a couple hundred stuff. Look at this, I want it. Alright, so here we are. New socket right there for this guy. I'll clean that junk off the back just because I didn't like the way that looked. We're going to see if it fixed anything. It might have been just a bad socket. It would not surprise me. No, we actually have a problem somewhere. Very interesting. Okie doke. Well, this thing is getting some dirty data. Dirty data don't like you. Nope. Man, isn't it quiet? This game exhibits kind of strange behavior if you take both the pokies out. Those handle the inputs, outputs, and sound. When it starts up in game mode, the game automatically starts, but your inputs are going wild. The enemies will always go up the same spot because the random number generation is not working. And it's actually in gameplay because it's counting score, and it's getting rid of your lives, but you can't end the game. Oh, it actually finished the level. Wow. It's trying. Where are the enemies at? They're not like moving up, are they? Oh, they are moving up. Oh shit. This game is playing itself. Oh no. What actually gave it game over? Oh shit, it just started over again. So yeah, they can run without pokies. That's kind of interesting. Well, relatively. So I went through and checked all of the data and address pins between the two, and they all do the exact same thing on the scope. So there's nothing wrong with the addressing and data. When I leave this pokey out and I put this pokey in, it still makes garbage. So it's something that's addressing this pokey and telling it to do bullshit. It can't be this connector, because if it was this connector and there was a bad address or data bits or something like that, it would give the math box portion garbage data and it would crash the game and it would not run at all. So what else goes to this connector? Let's double check this. So we got external database or data bus, address bus, external address bus, an I/O thing. I don't think any of this stuff would be bad, otherwise the math box would be complaining big time. Various clocks. There's bit 7 over there by itself for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't appear to be anything that if you were to get rid of any of those pins, it would just not run. So, is there something wrong with the game's program? Another strange thing is that I've noticed that the pins for the keyboard scanning are doing exactly this on the malfunctioning pokey. Well, the pokey's not malfunctioning, the game board's malfunctioning. This pokey's fine. So if I take this and start poking around on the keyboard inputs, let me zoom this out. Let's go to 80 milliseconds or whatever. Why is the keyboard scanning on that pokey enabled? If I go look to the other pokey, it is not scanning for keyboard. And that's not supposed to be scanning for a keyboard because this is a fucking arcade game with no keyboard. And in fact, I think those pins are disconnected. So yeah, those don't go nowhere. Those don't go nowhere. So, what gives? What's telling this pokey to do weird shit? Something about this position. There's a signal difference between this one and this one. The address and data lines are the exact same spots going to the same thing. So something is telling that there's something in here that tells the difference between this pokey and this pokey position. There's got to be a way for it to enable separate ones for separate sounds. So what's different here? Okay, so the thing that determines whether one pokey is being selected to the other is the chip select pin on the socket, which is controlled by B5, and it gets that signal based on external address bus 4 and 5, and this I/O signal coming from here and going through B4. So we need to check this signal, make sure it's doing things. Need to make sure that these two are getting something. Both of these are outputting. One thing that I've noticed weird is when I was checking both the sockets, the pokies out, everything matched up basically perfectly. So these two might be tied together unintentionally somewhere, maybe. I can pull the pokies out and check for continuity between the two, and I'm going to poke at the signals themselves to see if I find anything stupid. So I'm pretty sure it comes down to either this chip or this chip right here that's doing something incorrect. Let me get my heat-seeking missile out. Something tells me that's getting warm. Yeah, that's one you'd want to clean up. Alright, so... those are crunching some numbers. Wow, 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 wow. You guys make a little bit more heat than the other one because it's probably doing shit in this different material. Yeah, I'm not seeing any difference in heat between these two here. So that's not going to tell me what. I'm going to throw this other auxiliary board from my good game onto this to isolate it. Make sure for certain it's going to be on the auxiliary board and not the vector generator PCB. So here's the good board from my good board set board, and when I turn this on, you get no sound, huh? All right, so it is definitely isolated to the meth box. It's a meth box issue. This thing's on meth. So now we know that it's coming specifically from the auxiliary board, and it's not an issue with data being transferred from the vector generator PCB, the main PCB. We can start here because it's only affecting one of these pokies, and it could be that this Pokey 1 or Pokey 2 signal is being activated at the wrong time, causing the Pokey to intake invalid data and output garbage into what you're hearing right now. So what we can do is make sure, well, isolate or eliminate the possibility of, external data bus stuff. So I/O and EAB 7 and 6, that all comes straight from the vector generator PCB. So none of these signals will be bad. This signal right here may be bad. However, let's check 6 here. So let's see what else is this control. This may mess up. If this is bad, this may mess up this signal here, which M star. Whatever the hell. This stuff right here is for, I'm pretty sure it's for math box functions. We don't have any math box function issues. This signal down here goes down to this, which goes into this dealy bopper here, and these are all EA-ROM and math box functions, and those are working fine. Otherwise it would throw a math box function issue or alarm, blah 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 blah, error. So I'm pretty sure B4 is fine. B5 controls the two pokies, and this other signal that goes down into here, that's and or whatever the fuck. I don't know what that logic gate is. It goes to this OL signal, which goes down to here. It goes down to this chip right here, which controls the start LEDs and some other screen flipping and whatever. It's a clock for that. So is the lights? Are the lights working? Let's check the player lights. Well, they're on. That's all right, I guess. The lights are functioning. So the lights are working, so that clock has to be functioning right. I don't know, I'm kind of eyeballing this B5. One of these outputs right here is doing something funny. It cannot be address bus issues. It might be this. This line right here. this Y3 may not be outputting correctly. I don't have any spare 139s that I can swap around. And I don't have a logic analyzer, so I can't be sure of what the fuck. So, LS139. Hello, Centipede. You're my favorite test victim. 139, I think? Well, there's one right here. But I gotta say, whoa, hold on. This is not the Centipede PCB robbing shit from. This is the good one that came in my cabinet that was working. I need to find my spare one that has all this shit that's like socketed because I was fucking around with it. Tempest. So this is the one I'm going to have to apologize to. This is my spare Centipede PCB. As you can tell, it's in a bit rougher shape. Is that the Pokey? That's a beat up Pokey. You got, you know, RAM in sockets. You got whatever the hell these are in sockets. You got video RAM in the socket because I had to change that out. You got this thing in a socket. That's supposed to be in a socket. That's a prom. So this is the spare Centipede PCB that works. LS83, 174, 86, 157, 74, 74. And of course that would be on a socket, wouldn't it? That's also on a socket in my Stargate now because stupid thing fucking died on me. So 139, I'm going to borrow that because I know everything on this board works for now. And then I'll have to order some of those and put them in stock and then repair my Centipede board once more. You know, I do have a way to test these. Kind of. Logic test. What's this one on? 139. Yeah, you complain because there is none. This is one nice feature about this. Fucking shit. Let's try not to do that this time. Yeah, that appears to be happy. It is not B5. We're going to try B4. Alright, here we go with the other one. That one would be B4. Yeah, it really does not like that one. So B4 was our bad guy. So what that might have been doing was outputting pin 7 incorrectly. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I stole it from here. This is our 74 139 with its bent up legs. Let me straighten that out. Alright, some chips legs straightened out a bit more better. We got... Put it in the chip tester, all nice and snug, and see if it works. Uh-oh. Alright. Just had to wake it up. So this one's good. I'm out of 16-pin sockets. Shit. So this guy was definitely bad. No doubt about it. You can kind of hear the noise it makes when it's bad. It kind of like has a different whine to it. Let's find out if I have a working Tempest now. Means we're just gonna take this guy right here. Wait, this is the bad one, isn't it? Shit. No, we want this one. This is the good one. We want this guy to be in the board. Not very good for a socket. We got everything oriented the right way, that is. 8137, 8142. So these were made not too long ago from each other. These two are like brothers, but this one died. So yeah, I have the... I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. When you got this thing turned down this low, it's like those heart rate monitors. Get this out of here. I don't want to see that shit. Not that it matters anyway. Alright. Keyboard put back together. Do we get awful sounds? Wow, it's quiet. The game might be working properly now. That's what the test mode has. I wonder if that little squiggly changed to letters like it should have been. It's kind of weird because that seemed like it was a legitimate graphic. It wasn't like something that wasn't supposed to be there almost. Oh yeah, I still got the wiggly woogly. I wonder if this is like an earlier ROM revision. Let's see here. Let's turn the spinner. Oh yeah. You can barely see that. I can see it. You can't hardly. So it's not complaining. Where's the slam switch? Well, I know the slam switch is out. Stupid. That's still very weird. This has got to be a different revision of the ROMs. The pokies are working though. Do I dare hook this thing up to my my monitor? Is that the grand finale for this fucking thing? Hook up to the monitor and see if it plays. We don't know if the Z has any issues or anything like that. The 3Z signals. You know, X and Y is working. Doesn't appear to be jumping around or anything like that, but everything might be kind of jacked up relatively. Let's start with the controls in the middle. Where's my... Not the one I was looking for. Or actually, let's start with linearity, centering, pot at center. Shit. This really needs... Oh, fucking wow. What's up with that? I don't know. It's because the centering or the linearity is all jacked. What the fuck? I forgot about that. That's an interesting. What's this one? This is Y is size. We might have a voltage issue. Let's start very small. Let's start with that. X size very small. We're going to start with smallest we can be. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not hooking it up to the monitor with it acting like that. This is a fucking awful idea, but I'm going to hook it up to my monitor. Let's make sure my power switch is clear for just in case something goes horribly wrong. Oh, that guy was hooked up to it too. Ooh, I'm a little bit anxious about this one. But it is running. The deflection is correct. So here it goes. I hear deflection. You can see me with my stupid hairdo through this fucking headlamp. Deflection's going. That is a game. Whoa. Yeah, we're way too low. But it is running. BIP is definitely wrong. Look at that. That's weird. I guess that's normal. Guess that tests the scaling. Yeah, it's doing the thing. Let's see if I can get it adjusted. Maybe we'll be able to get it to fit correctly. Maybe the weird lower Y position. It might be regulators. Negative 15 might be low. So, for viewing ease, okay, time to do a little bit of an adjustment. We'll see what this thing wants to do. Make sure it doesn't fucking blow a fuse or some sucker. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You don't trust me. We are not a happy family. Look at that thing spin. Wow, 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 wow. That's kind of cool, actually. I like that. Ew, I don't like it. My adjuster. I'm gonna poke. What's this one? This linearity. This is centering. What size? What's it? Is this size? That's size. All right. Okay. That's okay. X size. Okay. Okay, we're seeing some results here. It's not terribly jumpy. All right, let's get some bip. The bippity boppity boo. Let's see what the linearity does. We got. Now let's see what bip does. Let's see if I can zoom in. I set it better with the max zoom on my camera? Probably not. It's not quite perfect, but I think that's good enough for a spare Tempest board here. Come on, you fucker. Where's the button at? Really? Come on. Colors are working. Just drawing a box. Now let's do the X center. Oh. Let's Y center this up a bit more. Pin cushion's coming in as you adjust it in. We have some linearity issues. This pot doesn't seem to be doing jack dilly squat. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's not touch, we're not touching linearity, okay? That's part of later fixing, I guess. Where is that switch again? Good grief. Let's give it a first-hand look. Fucker's bright, isn't it? That really is something. Bip's not quite there. Let's see if we can get just a little bit closer. Just in a little bit more. Not looking bad. There it is. I think my size adjustment's a little bit off still. Let's take another peek. Y size can go up a little bit. I do believe it's a little bit small. Probably up and then down, or taller and then down. Let's give it taller, then down. This thing has only recorded its 3 seconds on. That EA ROM might be bad. Either that or that bad chip has been spamming shit data at it and then it caused it to fuck up. Well, I guess there we have it, a working Tempest board set. I'm glad it wasn't just sockets and broken chip legs, and that actually had you know, a logic issue that I could figure out. That makes it more fun. I'm just going to play it now and see if it's going to work perfectly nice. Yeah, everything's looking nice. I thought I was going to have like a weird vector generation issue with that weird cutoff, but I guess I just said the pot's all fucked up. I did deoxit the pots, and this thing is definitely not done being worked on. The rest of it's just regular maintenance stuff, like replacing the rest of the sockets, but this is just a exercise in getting the thing to function before I go through the motions of, you know, making it not complete shit. Needs new pots, needs new voltage regulators with the vector stuff, needs sockets, needs a lot of shit. Needs a usual Atari game, Atari vector maintenance. But now that we have reached a basic functioning state, this board is a keeper. Just need to order the chip to put back in my spare centipede, so my spare centipede can be my spare centipede. Dead right there. I don't even know what difficulty I have it on. I think it might be on medium. Ooh. I'm doing a bad job. Put a score on there and call it a day. It's kind of weird how it says press start on free play. Maybe that's just another ROM revision weirdness. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. A different ROM revision Tempest. Well, there you have it.